everybody, Jennifer from Scrapping Under the Influence. I am back with another project for our 13 Frights Before Halloween. So this one, we are going to do some very, very simple treat jars. So I got these little jars, little plastic jars at Michael's the other day. And I've cut some vinyl with the Cricut Joy. So this is a super easy one. If you don't have the full size Cricut, you will still be able to do this, and I will link the project in Design Space, of course, in the description. So all we're going to do, we've got three different monsters here. So we've got a little Frankenstein, and then we've got a one-eyed monster, and then we've got one with kind of two eyes that aren't quite in the right place. And we're going to go ahead and put those together. So all I did is layer the eyeballs, or layer the black pieces on top of the white. For most of this, other than the little dots on a couple of these, I'm not even going to use transfer tape because we really aren't going to need it. Well, except in my, I think this is some more of the vinyl that was not the best. I had some vinyl that, come to find out, vinyl has a shelf life. I mean, who knew, right? Okay, so all I'm going to do is just peel up a corner. I rub this down with some rubbing alcohol first. And we're just going to lay his little eyeball on there like so. Do the same thing with his other little eyeball here. Once I can get the corner of it lifted up. There we go. Again, just going to lay a corner down on there and then just peel that off and stick it. Here's his little mouth, and since this is the black smart vinyl, that one I know I can just peel that off with my fingers and put it down. Let me grab a little tiny piece of transfer tape here. Doesn't need to be real big because we're just doing these little dots. And the only reason I'm using the transfer tape on the dots is, why does it keep flipping over to that? This is going to drive me crazy. The only reason I'm going to use the transfer tape on the dots is just because I've got them kind of positioned, grouped the way I want them. So we're going to go ahead, and apparently we're going to fight with this one as well. I'm just using my little weeding tool to loosen this up because, like I said, I've got to go through my vinyl, turns out, and figure out if I have no memory of buying it or getting it in a mystery box, which quite honestly is where a lot of the vinyl in my stash has come from, and honestly is why I quit getting mystery boxes, but that's a whole other story. Cricut mystery boxes, that is. Is because apparently vinyl has a shelf life, which I did not realize until I was working on another of my projects for the 13 Frights Before Halloween, and I had some that just did not want to come off its backing, much like this one's trying to do to me now. So we're gonna do like this. He's gonna have a couple of little spots over here. And these I am going to peel off by hand because that seems to work when the transfer tape does not. And he's gonna get a spot over here. So, and like so, and there's our first little monster. All we need to do now is put some pattern paper on the top. So this is just a 6x6 doodlebug print. Which, you know what, I think I'm torn. I think I want Trick or Treat on this one, actually. So I just have a 2.5 inch circle punch. All I'm gonna do is just adhere that down with some tape, if I can figure out where it went. Tape runner has disappeared too, so I'm gonna have to attach that later, but I'm just gonna put that on there like so. And then I've got also from the 6x6 pad these little cut aparts, and I actually want the 3 right here in the middle. So I'm just going to cut these apart. And then I think I'm actually going to attach one of these little sentiment, I cannot talk today, strips on here as well. And if you wanted to do more decoration on this, you absolutely could. But what we're going for here really is just something simple. So I'm going to figure out, I think my first one, we're going to go ahead and do the pumpkins. And we'll do this little Happy Halloween. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to flip this over, is glue this down back side here. I'm going to leave just a tiny border because mostly what I want is that little more solid that's on the back side for the back side of my little tag that I'm making, so that I can write a little message. I decide I'm going to send these to my nephews. 2 nephews, 1 son, so 3 projects, just perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to take my small corner on my crocodile, just punch a little hole there, little hole there, and then just take some twine. I definitely pulled way too much off the roll, but that's okay. And I'm actually going to go couple of times around, and tie a bow. Okay, and then all I have to do feed an end through my little hole here. And tie one more little knot. And then once I attach my little circle on top, there's my first treat jar. My red one, he's getting one big eyeball. I totally should have bought more colors of vinyl when I was at Michael's this morning, but I didn't do that because some of this that I used on some other stuff was actually okay. This one, we're going to go right about there. And then he's got, I didn't cut his little mouth apart. He's got a little mouth that is going to sit, oh, he's got teeth actually that go on the little mouth. So let's get those really quick. That and like this, and then one on the bottom. Like so. There, and then he actually has some little funny hairs that I was going to use on here, but you know what, I don't know that he needs them. I think I'm going to put them on here actually. Yeah, actually I don't think I'm going to use them. It's up to you. You could size these a little bit differently if you wanted to. So there's my transfer tape. I was like, I knew I had a weird little piece of transfer tape here. Actually, you know what? This is not the transfer tape that's going to work with these dots because they are that shiny vinyl. And it does not like anything except the really strong transfer tape. So we're just going to do these by hand. So I actually have a couple of sets of these, so he's going to get lots of little spots here. And on the Cricut file, these are grouped together, so if you only wanted to do one of these, you absolutely could. You don't have to do all 3 monsters. You could do a whole group of the same monster, and it would be cute. But I figured I bought one of each color, but I would go ahead and do that. So there's the vinyl for our second monster. I'll go ahead and do his tag and his top later. I really want to get to my last one. So we have a little Frankenstein for our last little monster here. And I am going to wipe this off with some rubbing alcohol. Make sure there's nothing on that bottle. So I've got his little hair that's going to wrap around. It's not going to go all the way to the top, but it's going to be up towards the top part of the jar. So I'm going to start, there's a little seam on the back of these bottles. And I'm going to start at that seam. So we're going to just very carefully peel this off as we lay it down on the jar. And fingers crossed this goes on the way I want it to. Wouldn't be my first fail of the weekend, but you never know. Okay, you know what? Not totally even, but it's good enough. Well, that's gonna bug me actually. So I am going to very carefully get a corner of that up. A little bit off, like about right here. There we go. All right, much better. Okay, so he of course has his little eyeballs. He's got his little, what do you call them? The little screw things that kind of go on the side here. Put his eyes together. I did not do his eyes when I did the other ones. So literally all I'm doing is just putting the black dot on top of the white dot. And then this is going to go about here. Here, he's got his little mouth. Just gonna go about there, and we've got two little scars. Put one there. And one up over here. And there you go. There's your little Frankenstein jar. Super easy, super cute. Fill it with some treats, and you're all done. Thank you for watching. We'll have another video next Monday, and I'll see you then. Bye.